Here in the United States, especially, we've had two uh, competing or complementary efforts going on for the last year and a half now almost, um, because we had a major diversity and inclusion issue or set of issues occur simultaneous with the entire COVID-19 effort
Mhm.
that was or impact that was going on. So we not only had a situation where we had to address um, the needs of the COVID-19 epidemic and the immediate transformation to a remote workforce. To Jody's point a few seconds ago, one of the things that happened, I think, that's a benefit of COVID-19 is we showed what we've been talking about for decades is that we can actually move pretty quickly when we need to. Infrastructure aside, the ability for us to transform to almost 100% non-face-to-face training, even well, I mean, virtual face-to-face, but non-face-to-face training was amazing. And you saw that happen not only at the corporate level, but at the public school level as well. So that little clause that always was in the business conversations of, oh, we can't move that fast. Oh, we're such a big organization. That has now been proven to be wrong. And it's no longer an excuse for not doing the right thing. Um, the complication that happened on top of it was we had all of this diversity and inclusion that was taking place as well. Now, while the main thrust was on a race-based issue, it pointed out systemic issues that revolved around things like introverts versus extroverts,
Mhm.
and people with little children that might be walking in on your virtual meeting, and people that didn't, and those that were in New York City that were used to being able to be at a coffee shop having their virtual conversation that were now stuck with their 3 kids, 2 cats, a dog, and a husband or a wife or spouse of any kind working on a computer in the same room because they have a loft and they're not
Mhm.
used to being trapped inside a little box. And so all of a sudden, the rules of social engagement for business transformed relatively overnight as well. There was some initial, resistance until those at the top were also affected by the same situation. It was there was definitely a class distinction between those until their help that they were used to having in there managing all that couldn't come into their homes. And then they were just like everybody else. So that kind of transformation was all taking place while we're trying to train people, because we at the bank had to transfer all of our contact center folks from being trained in a classroom
Mhm.
to now being trained at home. And we had to increase the number of contact center folks we had to deal with all of the communications that were going on. And so tellers and folks that had been in the bank branches were all of a sudden expected to be able to be trained almost overnight to become contact center folks. And so those kinds of transformations were happening nonstop for it was several weeks, 3, 4 weeks. And it was just like, how, first it was, how are we going to get this done? And then it was, wow, we can get this done. It's just going to take
Mhm.
a different mindset. And that's where the CLO comes in and helps shape that vision for what that mindset is. And that's where they
Mhm.
have a huge role.